Welcome back, and thank you for joining me again. Today, another video on multiplication and division word problems for 3rd grade. So let's go ahead and jump in and take a look. For each one of these, it says right here, if we look at reading our instructions, draw a picture and write an equation of the story problem and solve it. Okay, so we got to do that for each problem. All right. Now, mind you, we're either going to be multiplying or we're going to be dividing. So we can keep that in mind when we're working this out. We shouldn't be adding or subtracting. We shouldn't be doing anything else other than multiplying or dividing. Okay. Number 1, there are 32 kids that want to play Foursquares at recess. If 4 kids play together, how many games of Foursquare will be going on at recess? So they give us a total. We have a total right here. That 32 represents our total. And this 4 is going to represent our groups. So if we want to figure out how many games of Foursquare will be going on at recess, we're going to draw out 4 groups.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And then we're going to fill those 4 circles up with equal amounts of X's until we count out 32. So we can go ahead and write out our sentence. This would represent 32 divided by 4. Or we could say 32 divided by 4 equals. Okay, and now we're just going to go ahead and fill these up with the X's.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32.
So now to get our final answer, now that we used up all 32 and we have them in 4 groups, we just need to count out one of the groups. Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So 32 divided by 4 is 8. And the answer says how many games of Foursquare will be going on at recess? 8 games. Number 2. Michelle is making a quilt. Her quilt will have 7 squares in each row and will have a total of 6 rows. How many total squares will she need for her quilt? So for this one, they give us they give us groups and items. They told us how many rows. Our rows are going to represent our groups, okay? And they told us how many were going to be in each row or each group. It says 7. So what we want to do now, this is a form of multiplication. This is a form of 7 times 6. Or they might see it as 7 times 6. Or they might see it as 7 times 6. Every time you write the multiplication statement or you say it, write it the different ways. So once again, we have our 6 rows, and we're going to use our rows to represent our groups. And in each group, we're going to put 7 X's. So
here's my 6 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And
now we're just going to put 7 X's in each circle, each group.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Now to get our answer, we got to count it all up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42.
So the answer here is going to be 42. 42. 7 times 6 is 42. Oops, not 72, but 42. Sorry about that. Let's make that correction. And let's give our real world answer we gotta put it in real world context. So it can't just be 42. It's 42 what? It says how many total squares. So this is 42 total squares. Okay, that would be our answer there for number 2. All right, let's take a look at number 3. Number 3 says Mandy bought 8 packs of gum. Each pack had 5 pieces of gum in it. How many pieces of gum did Mandy buy? All right, so we have our 8 groups, our 8 packs, and each pack has 5 pieces. So let's go ahead and get to it. And we can write out our multiplication statement. We can say 8 times 5, or we can say 8 times 5. Oops, it should be 5, not 4, sorry. 8 times 5, or we can say 8 times 5. So now that we wrote out our multiplication sentence, well, part of the sentence, we need an answer. Now we're going to go ahead and find the answer. So we got our 8 groups.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And now we need to put 5 X's to represent our pieces of gum in each group.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40.
So it's a total of 40 pieces of gun. Okay, 40 pieces of gun. All right. Number 4. Erin loves her bracelets. She has 18 total. If she wants to wear an equal amount of bracelets on each wrist, how many bracelets will Erin have on each arm? So this one, I like this problem because they don't really tell the students the other number here, okay? So taking a look at this problem, we have our total, which is 18, but they didn't really give us our groups. They didn't tell us the number of groups directly. They told us they told us the number of groups, but in an indirect way. So it says on each wrist or each arm. Well, how many wrists or how many arms do people have? Each person has 2 arms, right? Or 2 wrists. Okay? So the groups is gonna equal 2. That is gonna be our group number. 2 groups. 1, 2. And now we need to fill it up with 18 X's, but each group needs to have an equal amount.
So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
So there we go. We have our 18, and this really represents 18 divided by 2, or we can write it as 18 divided by 2, which both of them equal. Well, let's count out how many X's is in one circle.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So 18 divided by 2 is 9. So how many bracelets will she have on each arm? 9 bracelets. Okay. Let's take a look at the last one, number 5. Number 5 says, Gus is organizing his toy soldiers into rows. He puts 9 soldiers in each row and has 8 rows of soldiers. How many soldiers does Gus have in all? All right, so let's go back and reread it now. It says Gus is organizing his toy soldiers into rows. He puts 9 soldiers in each row and has 8 rows. So we need 8 rows with 9 soldiers in each row. So we're gonna use array this time to write this one out. So I'm gonna do it like this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
8. And remember, rows go left to right. That's the first row. Now I need 7 other rows of the same thing.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, that's 8. We need to put 9. I only have 9 and 9. There we go. So let's count it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And even when I'm doing this, you see that I'm still modeling, like even if you make a little mistake like that, it's okay to model that. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. Math is nobody's perfect when you're doing math. You're going to make mistakes along the way. So now we need to go and continue to write out the rest of our groups or our rows. So
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9.
So now we've did our part. We have our 8 rows with 9 soldiers in each row. Now we need to count them all up.
So it's going to take a little bit. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 6, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72.
So now that we've done that part, 8 times 9, which is equal to 8 times 9, which is also equal to 8 times 9. All of that is equal to 72. So 72 soldiers in all. All right, and that will complete this video.